is going on, guys, and welcome back to the channel. It's James here from How To Games, bringing you another 100% walkthrough video. In today's video, I'm going to do a walkthrough of the 5th world in Mulaka, Hueraach. So let's get started. Here we go, Hueraach. So we are introduced into a couple new elements in this world, and we'll get into that shortly. But first, we'll just start from the beginning here. And like always, if you come across some items, be sure to stock up if need be. And we will now make our bear transformation to pass through here. Continue to collect items as we go along here. And we are now introduced to a new enemy type, poisonous mushrooms. They do not really move around, so they aren't really a major threat if you stay away from them. So my technique to dispose of these guys is to just use my spear and dispose of them from a distance. If you get close to them, as you see later in the episode, later in this world, you will see that they will expel a poisonous gas, and that will harm you. So here we are introduced to a new mechanic, the Rage Potion, which you have to collect corn, and that will build up your amount of Rage potions that you can get. Now what the Rage Potion does, as you can see here, it greatly increases your speed and your strength. So if you feel like you need a bunch of speed and strength, which might be good when you encounter some of the bigger battle sequences, it's a good idea to start your rage or drink a rage potion to enter that battle. So here, once again, I use my vision to kind of gauge of where I want to go. Here, dispose of these mantis men. Like I stated earlier, that mantis man with the shield, you have to break the shield, but you've got to be aware that once they attack, it becomes uninterrupted, so you've got to dodge those attacks. And we continue to collect supplies. Now we see here that we have a gate, so we can't go much further there. So we're going to take a new path here. So we're starting down a new path. And defeating these scorpions. Continuing to get our inventory up. And as you can see here, there is a bunch of little scorpions on this little pathway here, and it will give you an idea of kind of gives you an inkling of who you will encounter next once you get to the end of this kind of pathway. Okay. So basically all we're doing is just continuing to stock up on our supplies Now you don't really have to dispose of those scorpions if you don't want to. I just decide to. Okay, and here we go. We are in a little battle area here. So we have the 2 poisonous mushrooms here, and all I do to dispose of them is just throw my spear at them. I have charged up a finisher, and I will save that for a later part here. So we have a bunch of them, so I decide that it's best to just use it. Okay, now we have 2 flying mantis men and the bull, that little bull character. So, like I do always, I run away from them and running in a circular motion, and that will get me to dodge and attack that character. So now you can see that my strategy has changed for taking down these flying mantis men. Now you can use just your bear transformation to knock down these mantis men. If you don't feel comfortable with the accuracy of your accuracy of throwing those spears like I do, I don't feel really comfortable with the accuracy. It's pretty much a no-brainer to use the bear transformation to take them down. I find that it's much simpler technique for me. So now we go into a little mini boss battle here. And it's a familiar foe we will see. So yeah, we are encountering the scorpion that we did in the first world. So basically, this is a little different though. We have no shell, so it's just basically what you want to do is attack, and then you will see he will do that spin. You can come back in for attack. You've also got to keep an idea of where his claws are, what his claws are doing, as he will snatch or try to catch you with his claws pretty easily. So I get lucky and I have a finisher right at that moment, and that allows me to finish off the boss. And the great thing about this is that now we can turn into a puma and get into further places in this world. So we just went through the cutscene, and now we are introduced to the puma transformation, which will allow us to climb to the top. And now I can hit the trigger, and we have collected the first stone in this world. So now we'll go and travel back to where we were. Where that gate was, where we couldn't pass before. So now it seems like all the scorpions have once again respawned. You can go back and you can fight them, or you could just run through them all, depending on what kind of, if you want to take the time to defeat them or not. Another good thing to do, possibly, I don't know if I do it here or not, but you can save, you save the game. Any point that you come across a save point, it's just easy and safe to do it. So now we go and we can pass through this gate here. And that brings us into another battle area here. So we are introduced to a new kind of toad, which are actually quite annoying. So as you can see there, those poisonous mushrooms, they expel a plume of poison from them if you do get too close to them. So that is why I use the spear on them. It's just an easier and safe way of not expelling the plumes of poison from them. So we have one more mantisman that was invisible. And now we go on to the next phase of the battle. And as you can see there, that's why I recommend not to do the dodge, because I did dodge twice and I still got hit by that enemy. So it is always a good thing to run in a circle away from him, because that is a surefire way of not getting hit by those enemy types. So now we have to, as you can see there's two towers. We have to use our shield in order to be able to take them down. And we now are in another battle sequence here. Pretty simple stuff in this first phase of the battle. Nothing too crazy. So I do have a finisher here. And when the moment is right, I will use it. So we have two mushrooms here. And I'll stay at a safe distance away to dispose of them. Now these guys, they kind of vacuum, they have kind of a vacuumy effect to them, so they will pull you into a direction that you might not like. But once again, you have to use a strong attack to kind of flip them over to expose them, to make them vulnerable to your attacks. So here I just go right ahead and use my special attack, since there was a bunch of scorpions, and it was actually quite beneficial to expel all those enemies quickly. So once again, use my spear and dispel of these poisonous mushrooms relatively quickly. And that will give me the second mythical stone in this world. So we could go up there, but we don't. That is after we have gotten a certain transformation that we don't have at the moment. So there really isn't much we can do at this point. So now I will save the game once again. And I will use my vision to kind of seek out where I need to go next. And I see that there is a little pit area that I can expose. And there's a poisonous mushroom in there, so I will dispose of him. And that triggered a gate. So now I will go through and seek out that gate. which really doesn't give me anything at this point. That gate is more like the last point there. I can't really advance past that gate right now, because I don't have the transformation yet. So I do have a gate here that I haven't triggered yet, but I will dispose of this enemy. Now I've got to figure out where that gate trigger is. So the best way to do it is to use my vision here, and I will use it shortly. Yep, here I'll use my vision. And as you can see there at the top of the screen, it says that the gate trigger is pretty much to the north of me. So off I go. And once again, we are greeted by our little pheasant here, friend the pheasant, so we will catch him, and he will gladly help us with his services of giving us a little jump. So we want to make the puma transformation, and that will get us to the top, and now we have triggered the gate that we need. So now we make our way back. So I decided to collect that korma there. So I'll get once again to the top, and I will shield myself. And I will fly over to that pillar. There. Actually, there isn't any korma, but there is a lookout point here. So the next thing I want to do is seek out where I need to go for the gate, and it's pretty much just north of me where I need to go. There's a little collection area of korma here, so I'll get that, and I will continue on through the last little gate here. So once again, we have the our friend the pheasant, and he will once again give us a little help. So we want to jump over onto the sledge. Use our puma transformation, and that will get us to the top. And now we collect the last mythical stone in this area. So now that we have all of the mythical stones in this area, we can now proceed through the last and final gate towards the boss. So really there isn't too much more to this. So all we've got to do is use our puma transformation, and that will get us to the top of the mountain. And as soon as you turn around, you will see that the gate is over to the right. You can also talk to Buddy over there, but you really don't need to. So that is it for the Hueraach world. Thank you for watching, and I hope to catch you in the next. 100% walkthrough video.